Few are the elected Republicans left who do not self-identify as birthers or deathers or TPers or Beckers. Beckers, people like Sarah Palin, who endorse a TV comedian who calls the president a racist. But now there's a new category, still very small, Freudian slippers. Our third story in the countdown, the phrase was coined when prejudice against black people was still the law of the land in 1909 and 1910, when whites here and in many other countries sought somebody, anybody, to take back the heavyweight boxing title from the African-American Jack Johnson. The phrase was the Great White Hope. A 1969 play and movie based on Johnson's life was even titled that. There is no ambiguity whatsoever about what the Great White Hope meant. The man the bigots of 1910 finally found, retired champ James J. Jeffries, even said, "I am going into this fight for the sole purpose of proving that a white man is better than a Negro." Funny that a congresswoman should suddenly use the phrase 7 months into the term of the first African-American president and then play dumb afterwards. Freudian slip?
Republicans are struggling right now to find the Great White Hope, and I suggest to any of you that are concerned about that are Republicans, there are some great young Republican minds in Washington. Of course, the ones I'm most familiar with are on the House side, and we've got a bright young star in Eric Cantor, our whip, his deputy whip, Kevin McCarthy from California is a bright young man, Paul Ryan, spent some time in Kansas with Senator
Congresswoman Lynn Jenkin at Hiawatha, Kansas, talking about the next leaders of her party: Cantor, McCarthy, Ryan Brownback, Jeffries, Victor McLaughlin, Stanley Ketchel. Oh, no, those last three fought Johnson. Sorry. A spokeswoman said, quote, "The Congresswoman wanted to apologize for her word choice and to emphasize she had no intention of expressing herself in an offensive manner. There may be some misunderstanding there when she talked about the Great White Hope. What she meant by it is they have a bright future. They're bright lights within the party." The Congresswoman herself said, "I was unaware of any negative connotation, and if I offended anybody, obviously I apologize." The old conditional apology. It's your fault if you're offended that an active politician in 2009 should use the most demeaning of racist phrases, vintage 1909. Joining me now from California's 35th District, Congresswoman Maxine Waters. Congresswoman, thanks again for your time tonight.
Welcome, welcome. Delighted to be back.
Let me start at the end rather than the beginning. Let's say this Congresswoman really did not know what that phrase meant, really had never heard of Jack Johnson. What kind of apology would you think would be appropriate here? Is one of these, if I offended anybody, ones, is that good enough right now?
Well, she has attempted to take back her words and to apologize. And like you said, it was probably a Freudian slip. But, you know, one of the things we can't do is we can't let them distract from what we are all about and what we're trying to accomplish. We're trying to keep the focus on comprehensive universal health care reform, and they're going all over the place. They're desperate. They don't have leadership. They don't really know what to do, and so I think we're going to continue to see a lot of crazy things happening, like all of the outrage that is being demonstrated at these town hall meetings, like the kind of statement that Congresswoman Jenkins made. I think we're going to, and let them define themselves, let them reveal who they are. The American public needs to see that.
But the context of the town halls is really critical to this, I think, because obviously there's the provenance of this phrase, and it's not just that, and it's not just that we're in 7 months into the term of the first African-American president, but also these town halls have been not just witches' kitchens of, you know, racist sentiment, but this attempt to thinly veil them in basically excuses that permit racist thoughts to be expressed and acted upon as if there were not going to be any consequences. Shouldn't there be some consequence to this Congresswoman other than being exposed as somebody who either doesn't care that she sounds racist or doesn't know what this very famous phrase really actually means?
Well, let me just say this. As you know, the President and the White House are very, very careful not to let arguments and disagreements disintegrate into a racist confrontation. And so what we're going to do is we're going to attempt to allow her to defend her remarks in any way that she wants to, but the truth will come out. They will define themselves. They can't help it. And I think what we should do is sit back and watch them so that the American people can see what we're really up against. And I think the president would like it that way. He would not like to engage them in the discussion about their racist remarks. That's not the way he handles things.
Do you think politically we're going backwards on this issue? Because there's so many things in the last 7 months that have made me, as a white guy, ashamed, absolutely ashamed of what I've seen. Are we going backwards or forwards now?
Well, I'm concerned. I'm concerned about some of what I see and some of what I hear, and I hope that they don't trigger a response from people who want to, get at them and show them that they can't get away with that kind of discussion, that kind of talk. So I'm concerned. I'm very much concerned about it.
Well, it's nice to hear you counseling calm and let them talk their way out of this if they can. A lot of us, I don't think, are as calm as you are. Representative Maxine Waters of California, it's always a pleasure. Thanks for your time. Thanks for coming in.
You're so welcome. Thank you.
You wonder if